1. Introduction. My name is Violet. This is my story. It begins on a very normal day. The sun was shining. I finished my work for the day. I felt a little tired. I decided to go to the park near my home. I like to sit there for some time by myself. The trees were very green. It was a quiet place. I found a bench and sat down. I watched the people walking and the children playing. It was a peaceful day. Suddenly, a dog ran very fast. It was a big dog. It ran too close to my legs. I was very surprised and moved quickly. I lost my balance and fell down onto the ground. It hurt my leg a little bit. Then a man came to me very fast. He looked kind. He was tall and he had dark eyes. His voice was calm and friendly. He asked me, "Are you okay?" He put out his hand to help me. He helped me stand up slowly and gently. He was very careful. He smiled at me. It was a nice, warm smile. He had a bottle of water. He opened it and gave it to me. "Here," he said, "drink some water." I thanked him. We started to talk a little bit. I told him my name, Violet. He told me his name was James. He was very easy to talk to. He listened carefully to everything I said. He seemed truly interested in my words. He was very sweet and very polite. I felt comfortable talking to him. I felt safe with him, even though I did not know him. We talked about simple things like the weather and the park. We talked for about 30 minutes. Then I knew I needed to go home. I stood up. James asked me a question. He asked, "Can I see you again, Violet? I enjoyed talking to you." I thought for a moment. He was kind and nice. It felt like a good meeting. A simple, positive thing that happened today. I smiled and said, "Yes, you can." We exchanged phone numbers. I walked home, thinking about the nice man I met in the park. It felt like a simple, nice meeting. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a friendly meeting on a normal day. 2. He is perfect. After meeting in the park, I saw James again the next day. He took me to a cafe. It was my favorite cafe. I felt happy he chose it. It seemed like he knew me already. He started doing sweet things. One day, he gave me flowers. They were blue roses. This was strange. Blue roses were my favorite flowers, but I never told him this. I was very surprised. I asked him how he knew. He just smiled and said he guessed. He said they were beautiful like me. I felt very happy. He seemed to know me very well, very fast. Every morning I got a text message from him. The message said, "Good morning, Violet, have a good day." It made me smile every time. Sometimes he waited for me when I finished work. He stood outside my office building. He did not stand too close. He just waited with a kind smile. It felt nice that he wanted to see me. He remembered everything I said. If I told him I liked a certain food, he cooked it for me the next time. If I said I wanted to read a book, he bought it for me. It felt like he listened carefully to everything I said. He seemed to understand me completely. I thought James was perfect. He was kind, sweet, and he seemed to know my heart. I felt like the luckiest woman in the world. My friends sometimes said that he seemed too good to be true, but I did not think that. I thought I had found true love with a perfect man. 3. A fast wedding. Things moved very fast with James. It felt like a beautiful dream. We were together for only 2 months, but it felt like we had known each other for a very long time. We talked every day and saw each other very often. Every single moment felt very good and everything felt right for us. One evening, we were having dinner at his place. James looked at me across the table. He had his dark, kind eyes focused on me. He reached out and took my hand. He held it gently. He said, "Violet, you are the one for me. My heart knows this is true love. Please, will you marry me?" I was very surprised by his sudden words. 2 months is certainly not a long time to ask someone to marry you. But my heart was completely full of love for him. He seemed so sure about us being together forever. He seemed so loving and honest in that moment. I looked at his face, and I believed him completely. I said yes to his question without thinking for long. My friends were worried when I told them the news about our fast wedding. They said, "Violet, it is too fast. Do you really know this man well enough?" They told me it was much better to wait for a longer time to be sure. But I did not listen to my friends or their worries at all. I felt a very, very strong connection to James. I thought they simply did not understand our special and deep love. James seemed open and kind to me always. He seemed very honest in everything he did. We decided quickly to have a small wedding ceremony. It was only for our closest families and for a few close friends. We did not want a big, public party. On the day of the wedding, I felt excited and a little nervous. I wore a simple white dress that I liked very much. At the place where we married, I walked towards James. When he saw me walking to him, James had tears in his eyes. He looked so happy and emotional in that special moment. When we stood together and said the words to become husband and wife, he cried even more. Seeing him cry like that, showing so much feeling, made me feel very, very sure about him and about us. It made me feel sure that our love was true love. It felt like the most real and important thing in the world. I married the man who I thought was perfect for me. I believed my life was starting now with the best person I could ever find. 4. A locked life. After we got married, life changed very quickly. It was not a slow change. James decided to stop working. He told me he wanted to spend every moment with me. So he was always at home. At the start, I thought this was a very sweet thing. I thought he just loved me so much. But after a short time, it started to feel strange and different. He was always near me in the house. It felt like he followed me. If I went to sit in the living room, he came and sat there too. If I went to the kitchen to make tea, he came and stood in the door. When I was using my mobile phone, he would come and sit right next to me. He began to read my messages on the screen. He would ask me, "Who is this person sending you a message?" He asked about messages from my friends and even my sister. I felt very uncomfortable when he did this, but he just said, "I love you very much, Violet. Because I love you so much, I want to know everything about your life." When I needed to go out of the house, he always wanted to come with me. If I had to go to the food shop, he came too. If I made plans to meet a friend for coffee, he came with me to the cafe. He told me, "I just really like being with you all the time." One day, something happened that made me feel very worried. I was leaving my office, and I spoke to a man from my work for just a few minutes outside the building. When I came home later, James was very, very angry. His face looked hard and unfriendly. "Who was that man you were talking to?" he asked in a loud voice. "Why were you standing there talking to him?" I tried to explain that he was just a colleague from my job, but James did not listen to my words. He said, "I do not like you talking to any other men. You are married to me now. You are my wife." He said things like, "I love you too much, Violet. I cannot lose you. You are the most important thing in my whole life." His words sounded like strong love. But the things he did, his actions, they felt like a cage around me. It felt like he was building walls around my life. I started to feel a bad feeling inside me. I felt like someone was always watching me, even when I was alone in a room. I felt like a bird in a small house. I was trapped inside my own house with the man I married. It was not the happy life I thought it would be. 5. The truth comes out. My fear became bigger every day. James was always near me. I felt like I could not breathe easily in my own house. I knew deep inside that something was very wrong with my life now. One afternoon, James went out. It was only for a short time, which was not normal. I quickly went up to the attic. I wanted to find something old I had put there a long time ago. The attic was dark and had a lot of dust. I looked around and found an old box. I did not remember putting it there. I opened the box. Inside, I saw many photos. My heart beat fast, but they were not photos of James and me. They were only photos of me. Many of the pictures were old, from years before I met James. I saw pictures of me walking in the street, pictures of me sitting in the park where we first met. Then I saw one picture that made me feel very cold inside. It was a photo of me sleeping. It was a picture of me in my old bedroom in my old apartment. This was from maybe 5 years ago. How could he have this photo? He did not know me then. My hands started to shake very badly. I looked more in the box. There were pieces of paper with my old emails printed on them. There were notes with my old addresses, notes about places I often went to years ago, notes with the names of people I knew a long time before James. I understood everything then. It was all true. James was not just a man who loved me too much. He was a stalker. He had watched me for many years, since I was 21 years old. He knew everything about my life before he met me in the park. The meeting in the park was not an accident. He planned it. The man I married, the man who seemed so perfect, the man who cried at our wedding, was my stalker. I felt very sick. The perfect man was a terrible, terrible lie. 6. I need to escape. After I found the box, I knew I was in great danger. James was not a good husband. He was a man who watched me for years and kept me in a house like a prison. I had to go away. I had to escape now. My mind worked very fast. I had to be quiet. I had to be smart. I waited for James to be in another room. He was making tea in the kitchen. This was my chance. I went to the bedroom very quietly. I took a small bag, a travel bag. I put some clothes inside the bag quickly. I also put my phone inside. My hands were shaking very much. I was so scared he would hear me, but he did hear something, or maybe he just knew I was trying to leave. He came into the room. He saw the small bag in my hands. His face looked different. At first, he looked very sad. Water came to his eyes. "Violet, what are you doing?" he asked me softly. "Where are you going with that bag?" I could not speak well. My voice was small because of fear. I just wanted to go past him to the door. Then his face changed again. It became hard. It looked very angry. He started to shout loudly. "No, you are not going. You are mine." He ran very fast to the door of the room. He turned the lock. The sound was very loud in the quiet house. I felt terrible fear. I was trapped inside the house with him. He started to walk towards me slowly. His eyes were wide and looked a little wild. He kept saying the same words, "Mine, you are mine, always mine." My mind had to work fast again. I took a deep breath. I tried to make my face look calm. "James," I said in a soft voice. I tried to sound normal. "I am not leaving, really. I just need some water from the kitchen." He stopped walking. He looked at my face for a moment. He seemed to think about what I said. He slowly moved a little away from the door. This was my only chance. I ran very fast to the small table near the window. My phone was there. I grabbed it. My fingers were shaking so much, it was hard to hold. I quickly found my sister's name and called her. "Help, James!" He locked the door. "Please call my dad. Call the police now." I whispered the words very fast into the phone. James saw what I was doing. He ran towards me again. I dropped the phone on the floor and ran away from him, into the living room, into the house. Soon, I heard a very loud knocking sound on the front door. Then I heard loud voices from outside. Then there was a very loud noise. The front door broke open. My father and the police were there. They came inside quickly. They saw James standing near me. The police officers took James. He tried to fight a little, but they were strong and held him. They took him outside the house. As they walked out, James looked at me one last time. His dark eyes looked strange, full of something I did not understand. He said loudly, "I will always watch you, Violet." I was safe now. The police had him, but I felt very weak. The man I thought was my husband, the man I loved, was gone. This scary stranger was the real person. 7, healing with family. After James was taken away by the police, I went back to my old home. This was my parents' house. It felt very safe to be there again. My mother and father were waiting for me. They gave me big hugs and told me I was safe now. Being in my old bedroom, the one from when I was a child, felt like a warm blanket after being in the cold. My parents took care of me every day. They made simple, nice food for me. They sat with me in the living room. They talked to me when I wanted to talk. Sometimes I just wanted to be quiet, and they sat quietly with me. Their love and care were a big help. But inside my head and heart, I was not okay. The fear was still there, like a dark shadow following me. Sometimes, when I was alone in a room, I still felt like someone was watching me. My heart felt heavy with sadness and worry. I knew I needed more help than my family could give. I started to see a person called a therapist. This person helps people understand their feelings and difficult experiences. It was very hard to talk about everything at first. It was hard to tell the story of how I met James. Hard to say that I fell in love with a man who was not real, who lied to me. Hard to say that I felt foolish or scared for so long. The therapist listened very carefully. She helped me understand many things. She helped me see clearly that what happened was not my fault. She taught me about people who control others. She taught me about stalking and what it means. She showed me that what James did was not love at all. Real love is different. It was very difficult to trust people again after this. My mind was full of doubts. If someone I met was too kind to me, I felt a little scared deep inside. If someone looked at me for a few seconds too long in a shop or in the street, my heart would start to beat very fast. My body remembered the fear. James tried to contact me sometimes. He wrote letters from where he was, but I did not read them. My family helped me, and the police helped me. The court made a strong rule. James could not come near me. He could not call me on the phone. He could not write to me anymore. My father talked to the police, and they helped make sure I was safe. I blocked James's number on my phone so he could not call. I put any letters he sent straight into the bin without opening them. Slowly, very slowly, the bad feelings started to become smaller. The fear started to quiet down. The feeling of being watched slowly went away. With my family's love and care every day, and with the help and understanding from the therapist, I started to feel stronger inside myself. I learned that I was safe now in this home. I was not alone in fighting these feelings. Piece by piece, I began to find my peace again in my heart and mind. It took a long time, but I was getting better. 8. Free at last. 1 year has passed since that terrible day. It was the day I left the house that felt like a prison. My life is very different now. I feel calm inside my heart most of the time. I feel strong too. I am not the same person I was before. I still live with my parents for now. It is good to be here with them. They helped me very much. But I am making plans to live alone again soon. I still go to see my therapist sometimes. Talking about everything helps me understand. It helped me feel safe and strong again after the bad time. Today, I decided to go outside and enjoy the day. The sun was bright and warm on my skin. I walked to a park near my parents' house. It was a different park from the one where I met James. I found a nice bench under a big tree and sat down quietly. I sat there for a long time. I watched the green leaves on the trees move gently in the wind. I watched some children laughing and playing games together. I saw small birds flying from tree to tree, high in the blue sky. I felt the peaceful feeling of being outside. Sitting on this bench, I remembered that first day. The day I met James in the park. That day, I felt tired and a little lost. Now, sitting here, I felt something completely different. I felt truly free. There was no fear inside me today. There was no feeling that someone was watching my every move. I was just a person sitting on a bench in a park, like everyone else there. I thought about everything that happened. It was like a very bad dream, but it was real. It was a terrible time in my life, full of fear and lies, but I lived through it. I came out of the darkness. I learned so much from it. I learned about love. I understand now that what I thought was love with James was not love at all. It was something very different. It was control. He wanted to control me completely. He wanted to keep me for himself, like a thing he owned. Love is not like that. Real love does not want to control you or change you. Real love does not build a cage around you to keep you inside. Real love is kind and gentle. Real love is open and honest. Real love gives you space. It gives you freedom. It lets you be yourself and helps you grow into a better person. The bad memory of that time is still a part of my story now. It will always be there like a scar, but it does not hurt me like before. It does not control my life anymore. It is just a memory. James said he would always watch me. For a long time after I left, those words made me feel scared, even when he was gone. But not anymore. I know now that he cannot reach me. He cannot control me or scare me anymore. I am safe. I am free. I am free from him and his darkness. I am free to live my own life the way I choose, and I am not afraid anymore.